Sometimes the world underestimates the quiet ones, but every now and then a nation rises, not with noise, but with brilliance, precision, and power that even the mighty did not expect. Today, we talk about India, about 10 weapons forged in silence, yet so advanced even the United States can't help but stand back and say, now that is something. So sit back, because power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply speaks and everyone listens. The BrahMos supersonic missile stands as one of the most formidable symbols of India's growing technological prowess, a weapon that embodies both speed and precision in ways that have stunned even the most advanced military observers in the world. The name itself, BrahMos, derived from the Brahmaputra and Moskva rivers of India and Russia, is a poetic yet powerful reminder of the international collaboration behind this remarkable creation. But make no mistake, what this missile represents today is nothing short of lightning on Earth, a bolt of unstoppable energy and devastation that moves faster than the eye can follow. It is a missile that can travel at nearly 3 times the speed of sound, Mach 2.8 to be precise, making it the fastest supersonic cruise missile in active service. Such speeds mean that from the moment it is launched, there is virtually no time for an adversary to react. Air defense systems, however sophisticated, struggle to track and engage a target that moves with such incredible velocity. This simple fact alone makes the BrahMos a game changer in modern warfare, a weapon that shifts the balance of power by exploiting the smallest of time windows and turning them into decisive strikes. What sets BrahMos apart is not just its speed, but its versatility. It can be launched from land, from sea, from submarines submerged beneath the waves, and even from the air. This flexibility means that it is not bound to a single domain of combat. It can strike from unexpected directions, keeping the enemy guessing, and it forces them to spread their resources thin, trying to cover all possible vectors of attack. The missile can carry a conventional warhead weighing up to 300 kilograms, enough to obliterate a major installation, pierce through bunkers, or sink a large naval vessel in a single blow. And because it flies so fast and skims the ground at low altitude, during its cruise phase, it is extremely hard to detect on radar until it's too late. The BrahMos guidance system further elevates its lethality. Equipped with an advanced inertial navigation system, coupled with GPS and GLONASS satellite guidance, the missile can strike its target with surgical precision, even in the face of electronic jamming. Its accuracy is measured in meters, not kilometers, a testament to the fine engineering that went into its development. In a modern battlefield where collateral damage must be minimized and high-value targets must be neutralized in a single strike, this level of precision is not just desirable, it is essential. The psychological impact of a weapon like BrahMos cannot be underestimated either. It is not just a missile, it is a statement that India is no longer merely a regional power content to defend its borders, but a nation capable of projecting strength beyond its immediate neighborhood. Knowing that an adversary possesses a weapon that can obliterate key installations in mere minutes without warning creates a deterrent effect that no amount of rhetoric can match. It forces nations to reconsider aggressive moves and pushes them to the negotiating table rather than the battlefield. What is equally remarkable about the BrahMos is the level of indigenous input and the strategic autonomy it provides. While it began as a joint venture between India and Russia, over the years, India has steadily increased its share of production and technology control. Indian scientists and engineers have mastered key components such as the solid propellant booster and the seeker head, which guide the missile in its terminal phase. This move towards self-reliance ensures that India is not at the mercy of external suppliers for the upkeep or expansion of this capability. It reflects a broader vision of an India that not only buys or borrows advanced technology, but develops, refines, and improves upon it, creating systems that are uniquely suited to its needs and doctrines. And even the U.S., which maintains a formidable arsenal of cruise and ballistic missiles, has taken notice of BrahMos. Military analysts in Washington have acknowledged that the combination of speed, precision, and deployment flexibility makes it a standout system, one of the few in the world that could potentially evade American carrier group defenses if used skillfully. In a world where air defense systems like the Aegis and Patriot have been designed to intercept incoming threats, BrahMos poses a unique challenge due to its blistering speed and maneuverability in the terminal phase of flight when it executes high G turns to avoid interception. It is a sobering reminder that supremacy in military technology is never guaranteed, and even the mightiest must continuously innovate or risk falling behind. When one sees the missiles streaking through the air during test launches, leaving a white-hot contrail against the sky, it is not just a demonstration of force, but also of vision. A vision to blend ingenuity, strategy, and determination into something tangible and awe-inspiring. The roar of its launch is more than just the sound of fuel and fire. It is the sound of a nation asserting itself on the world stage, unafraid to claim its place among the elite. And as it closes in on its target at more than 2.5 times the speed of sound, it reminds everyone watching that sometimes the quiet ones strike the hardest. The Arihant is not just a submarine. It is a quiet revolution beneath the waves, a symbol of India's resolve to protect its sovereignty with a calm yet unshakable strength. The name Arihant itself, meaning slayer of enemies, evokes an ancient spirit of determination carried into the modern era through steel, stealth, and nuclear power. The ocean is vast and unforgiving, and to dominate its depths is to hold a kind of power that few nations in the world can truly claim. With the commissioning of the INS Arihant, India stepped boldly into the exclusive league of nations that can wield an underwater nuclear deterrent, joining a select few who have mastered the art of strategic patience beneath the sea. The Arihant is the first ballistic missile submarine built indigenously in India, a feat that many thought impossible for a developing nation only a few decades ago. But hidden in shipyards, behind layers of secrecy, Indian engineers and naval strategists worked quietly for years to craft this vessel. From its hull to its nuclear reactor, from its sonar arrays to its missile silos, Arihant represents decades of dedication to achieving second strike capability, the ability to respond decisively even after absorbing a nuclear attack. And this capability is not just a luxury. In the high-stakes world of nuclear deterrence, it is essential to maintaining balance and peace through the promise of assured retaliation. The INS Arihant glides silently through the depths, virtually undetectable to enemy sonar thanks to advanced acoustic quieting technologies and the inherent advantage of a nuclear-powered propulsion system. Unlike diesel-electric submarines, which must surface periodically to recharge batteries and risk detection, Arihant can remain submerged for months at a time, patrolling thousands of miles of ocean in complete secrecy. Its endurance and stealth give it the freedom to choose its position carefully, always ready to launch if the unthinkable ever comes to pass. At its core lies an 83-megawatt nuclear reactor, compact yet powerful enough to drive this 6,000-ton submarine through the dark waters at a respectable speed. The reactor not only powers the submarine, but also symbolizes India's mastery over nuclear engineering. Marrying civilian know-how with strategic purpose, it enables the submarine to operate far from home ports, deep in the Indian Ocean or even beyond, forming a mobile and elusive launch platform that greatly complicates any adversary's calculations. For an opponent, knowing that a submarine like Arihant could be lurking anywhere adds an enormous layer of uncertainty, a silent pressure that deters rash decisions. What makes the Arihant truly formidable are the weapons it carries hidden within its hull. 4 silos are capable of launching nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles, such as the K-15 Sagarika, with a range of around 750 kilometers, and in future iterations, the longer-range K-4, reaching well over 3,500 kilometers. These missiles emerge from beneath the waves with devastating force, arcing into the sky before descending on their targets with deadly precision. This capacity to strike from underwater completes India's nuclear triad: land-based missiles, airdrop weapons, and now sea-based deterrence, ensuring that no first strike by an adversary can ever destroy India's ability to respond in kind. But the significance of Arihant is not measured only in kilotons or missile ranges. Its presence reshapes the very psychology of conflict in the region. It projects calm confidence, a quiet signal to friend and foe alike that India is prepared to defend its interests without aggression, yet without compromise. To the Indian Navy, Arihant is not just a weapon, but a guardian, a sentinel that protects not only the coastline, but the nation's dignity and future. Its very invisibility is its strength. It does not need to be seen to be feared, does not need to roar to be heard. Developing such a platform demanded more than just engineering prowess. It required patience, discipline, and vision. Nuclear submarines are among the most complex machines humans have ever built. A blend of metallurgy, fluid dynamics, nuclear science, and human endurance for India to achieve this milestone with indigenous technology speaks volumes about its determination to control its own destiny and secure its place among the world's great powers. Even the United States, with its vast fleet of nuclear submarines, acknowledges the strategic significance of India's achievement. In military circles, Arihant has been noted as a stabilizing factor in South Asia, giving India a credible deterrent that discourages escalation and helps maintain a fragile peace in a volatile neighborhood. To rivals, it is a silent reminder that the oceans hide more than just waves. They hide power, waiting quietly, patiently, ready to respond if provoked. When Arihant slips below the surface and disappears from view, it becomes a ghost of steel and resolve, prowling silently in the cold, dark depths. It carries on board not just weapons, but a nation's determination to never again be caught unprepared, never again be at the mercy of someone else's decisions. It is more than a submarine. It is a promise, an unspoken assurance that India's security lies not only in its soldiers and sailors above the surface, but also in the silent shadows beneath the waves, where the true balance of power is often decided. The Tejas is more than just an aircraft. It is a testament to India's unwavering determination to stand on its own wings, to design and build the fighter that reflects the spirit of a nation, determined to break free from dependency and rise into the skies with confidence. Decades in the making, forged through setbacks and perseverance, the Tejas has come to symbolize India's ability to dream, to innovate, and to overcome challenges that once seemed insurmountable. Every rivet and panel, every circuit and sensor of this sleek machine tells a story of resilience, of engineers and pilots who refuse to settle for anything less than excellence. When the TJs first took flight, it marked the dawn of a new era for India's aerospace industry, the first supersonic, multi-role fighter jet designed and built entirely within the country. Lightweight yet powerful, agile yet stable, it is a platform that has proven its mettle not only in test flights, but in operational squadrons of the Indian Air Force. In a world where fighter jets are often purchased at staggering costs from foreign suppliers, the Tejas stands out as a bold declaration of self-reliance, showing that India can produce a frontline fighter that competes with the best of its class. One of the most striking aspects of TJS is its advanced aerodynamics. With a delta wing configuration and relaxed static stability, it is designed for extreme agility and maneuverability, traits crucial in modern aerial combat. This design allows it to execute tight turns, rapid rolls, and evasive maneuvers that make it a difficult target to engage while maintaining precise control at high speeds and altitude. Powered by a single engine capable of producing nearly 9,000 kilograms of thrust, the Tejas can reach speeds exceeding Mach 1.6 and operate at altitudes above 50,000 feet. What truly sets the Tejas apart, however, is its versatility as a multi-role fighter. It can be configured for air-to-air combat, ground attack, and even maritime strike missions. Equipped with a wide array of weapons beyond visual range, air-to-air missiles, precision-guided bombs, anti-ship missiles, and more, it can adapt to a variety of battlefield scenarios. Its digital fly-by-wire control system, advanced radar, electronic warfare suites, and glass cockpit provide pilots with cutting-edge situational awareness and command over their mission. The Tejas is not just a fighter, it is a complete combat platform designed to meet the complex demands of modern warfare. The Tejas' significance extends beyond its technical capabilities. It is a symbol of national pride, born from the Light Combat Aircraft, LCA program, launched in the early 1980s at a time when India faced technology denial regimes and international embargoes. At every stage, there were skeptics who doubted the program could succeed, but the engineers at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, along with countless scientists from DRDO and other agencies, continued to refine the design, test new materials, and develop indigenous avionics systems. What emerged after years of relentless effort was not just a fighter jet, but proof that India could create a world-class weapon system on its own terms. The use of composite materials in the Tejas is another breakthrough, making it one of the lightest fighters in its class while maintaining strength and durability. Over 45% of the airframe is constructed from carbon fiber composites, reducing radar signature and improving aerodynamic performance. Its maintenance and operational costs are significantly lower than many comparable foreign jets, giving India a cost-effective yet potent addition to its air power. The Tejas also holds strategic importance in terms of reducing dependence on imported fighters. For decades, India had relied on platforms like the MiG-21 and Mirage 2000, both effective in their time, but increasingly obsolete and expensive to maintain. With the induction of the Tejas into the IAF squadrons, India has begun to replace aging fleets with a homegrown solution that can be produced, upgraded, and maintained within its own borders. This autonomy in production not only enhances national security, but also strengthens the domestic defense industry, creating jobs, advancing technology, and laying the foundation for future generations of fighters. Even internationally, the Tejas has attracted attention as an affordable yet capable fighter option for nations seeking modern air power without the prohibitive costs of Western platforms. Its performance in exercises and demonstrations has impressed observers, and export discussions are already underway with several countries. This potential to enter the global market further underscores India's growing credibility as a defense manufacturer and innovator. The psychological impact of the Tejas cannot be overstated either. For Indian pilots, flying an indigenous fighter instills a unique sense of ownership and pride, knowing that the jet beneath them is not just a machine, but a symbol of their country's ingenuity and determination. It sends a clear message to the world that India is no longer content to simply purchase power from others. It is capable of crafting its own strength, shaping its own destiny, and defending its skies with wings it built for itself. The sight of a Tejas cutting through the air, leaving a sharp white trail across the blue, is more than a display of engineering or firepower. It is a vision of what is possible when a nation believes in itself, when it dares to push forward despite doubt, when it chooses to rise on its own terms rather than wait for permission. The Tejas is not merely a fighter jet, it is India taking flight. The Agni-V is not just a missile, it is a message, a silent but unmistakable declaration of India's strength and resolve, crafted in steel, fire, and vision. Standing tall on its launch pad, gleaming in white and black with its tricolor bands, it looks almost serene until it ignites, roaring into the sky with a plume of flame and smoke that splits the heavens. In that moment, it becomes clear why the world, including the most powerful nations, cannot ignore what it represents. The Agni-V is a reach that commands respect, stretching far beyond India's borders to ensure its voice is heard, its security assured, and its dignity upheld. The Agni series of ballistic missiles has long been the backbone of India's strategic deterrence. But with the Agni-V, India entered an entirely new league. Capable of striking targets over 5,000 kilometers away, it brings virtually all of Asia and much of Europe within its range. From deep within Indian territory, this missile can reach strategic locations far to the north, west, and east. A capability that fundamentally alters the calculus of any adversary. No longer can an opponent assume that distance offers protection. With the Agni-V, India can touch any point it must with precision and power. This intercontinental reach is made possible by a sophisticated three-stage solid fuel propulsion system. Each stage ignites in sequence, propelling the missile higher and faster through the layers of the atmosphere until it arcs gracefully into space, its warhead coasting along a suborbital trajectory before re-entering the atmosphere at blistering speeds to strike its target. This method not only gives it its incredible range, but also allows it to deliver its payload with remarkable accuracy, even at such vast distances. The Agni-V's guidance system, blending inertial navigation with satellite corrections, ensures that its warhead lands within mere meters of its intended mark, a crucial feature in a world where precision matters as much as power. One of the most striking features of Agni-V is its mobility. Unlike earlier missiles that were fixed in silos or required cumbersome preparations, the Agni-V is designed to be road mobile, carried on special vehicles that allow it to be moved, deployed, and launched from anywhere in India. This mobility adds a critical layer of survivability to India's deterrent, ensuring that the missile cannot easily be targeted or neutralized in a preemptive strike. For an adversary, the knowledge that Agni-V units could be hidden, moved, and launched from unpredictable locations adds to the uncertainty and to the respect it commands. Beyond its sheer physical capability, the Agni-V embodies India's strategic philosophy of credible minimum deterrence. It is not a weapon of aggression, nor a tool to threaten weaker nations. Instead, it is a shield, a guarantee that India will not be cowed, coerced, or cornered, no matter how powerful the adversary. Its very existence discourages rash decisions and aggressive posturing by those who might otherwise underestimate India's resolve. It assures the nation's citizens that their security is not dependent on the goodwill of others, but rests firmly in their own hands. The development of Agni-V was no small feat. It required mastery over advanced materials to withstand the extreme temperatures and forces of reentry, as well as sophisticated avionics and software to guide it across thousands of kilometers with precision. Indian scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, overcoming technological embargoes and global skepticism to achieve what many thought beyond reach. The successful tests of the Agni-V were watched around the world. Each launch a clear demonstration of India's growing scientific and military maturity. Even nations that do not count India as an adversary have acknowledged the significance of Agni military. Military analysts in Washington, Moscow, and Beijing have noted that it fundamentally shifts the balance of power in Asia, giving India a credible deterrent that must be factored into any regional strategy. It ensures that India can stand as an equal among the world's major powers, not through bluster, but through quiet capability, a kind of strength that earns respect even from rivals. To the Indian people, the Agni-V is more than a missile. It is a symbol of what they can achieve when they believe in themselves, when they refuse to be held back by limitations imposed by others. It represents decades of perseverance, of a nation rising from colonial subjugation to carve its own place in the world order. When it streaks across the sky during a test launch, arcing high into space before disappearing into the horizon, it carries with it not just a warhead, but also the hopes, determination, and pride of over 1 billion people. The silent presence in India's arsenal ensures that no potential aggressor can ever take India lightly. It forces those who would threaten or intimidate to pause, to calculate, to consider the consequences of their actions. Because the Agni-V is not just a piece of hardware. It is the embodiment of resolve, a long arm reaching across the continents, reminding the world that India does not see conflict, but will never shy away from defending itself. The DRDO's anti-satellite weapon is a quiet yet profound statement of India's ability to project power beyond the boundaries of Earth itself into the vast, contested expanse of space. It is a weapon not designed to rain fire on cities or obliterate armies, but to reach silently and precisely into orbit and to eliminate the very eyes and ears that modern militaries depend on. In the grand chessboard of global strategy, where satellites guide missiles, coordinate troops, relay communications, and map the battlefield, the ability to destroy an enemy's satellite is nothing less than the ability to blind them at will. India's successful demonstration of this technology stunned the world and announced with calm certainty that its power now extends beyond the atmosphere. In March 2019, the world watched as India joined an elite club of nations alongside the United States, Russia, and China, capable of executing a direct ascent anti-satellite strike, codenamed Mission Shakti. This test was both a technical and symbolic milestone. From the ground, a modified ballistic missile streaked into the sky, piercing the stratosphere and climbing at incredible speeds until hundreds of kilometers above the Earth, it struck and destroyed a live satellite in low Earth orbit. The target was obliterated with pinpoint precision, proving India's ability to neutralize an object moving at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour high above the planet in an environment where even the smallest miscalculation could mean failure. This feat required years of painstaking development and mastery of multiple disciplines, advanced guidance systems, high-precision tracking radars, kinetic kill technology, and real-time command and control. The DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, developed a weapon that could lock onto a satellite and intercept it with staggering accuracy, despite the immense velocity and the vast distances involved. At the heart of this capability is the understanding that space is no longer just a scientific or exploratory domain. It is the newest frontier of strategic competition, where dominance translates directly into advantage on the ground. The weapon's significance lies in what it denies to an adversary. Modern militaries rely heavily on satellites for surveillance, navigation, missile warning, and communication. Knocking out key satellites can cripple an enemy's ability to coordinate forces, guide precision weapons, or even detect incoming threats. The DRDO's ASAT weapon gives India the ability to hold such assets at risk, ensuring that no hostile power can assume invulnerability in space. It adds a crucial dimension to India's deterrent posture, not just threatening retaliation on the land, sea, and air, but also in the high frontier where much of modern warfare begins. What makes India's ASAT test particularly notable is the restraint with which it was conducted. The missile targeted a satellite in a low orbit at around 300 kilometers, minimizing the generation of long-lasting space debris. In a realm where even tiny fragments can endanger other satellites and manned missions, India's deliberate choice to mitigate risks underscored its maturity and sense of responsibility as a spacefaring nation. Yet, it also sent a clear and unambiguous message. While India remains committed to the peaceful use of space, it will not hesitate to defend its interests there if challenged. Developing such a capability required the integration of technologies from India's missile and space programs. The interceptor missile drew from the proven ballistic missile defense systems, while the tracking and guidance relied on India's growing prowess in radar and sensor technologies. The coordination of these elements in real time against a fast-moving target in orbit demonstrated a level of sophistication that few believed India possessed. The world's reaction was telling, a mixture of surprise, respect, and recalculation. For India, the ASAT weapon is as much about deterrence as it is about actual use. It signals to potential adversaries that their satellites are no longer untouchable, that any attempt to use space for hostile purposes could invite proportionate consequences. In a conflict where the first salvos may well be fired in space, taking out command, control, and intelligence assets, India has shown that it can play on equal footing in this new domain. This capability also strengthens India's negotiating position in international forums on space security, where rules are still being written and norms are still being shaped. On a deeper level, the achievement speaks to India's broader ambition to be recognized not just as a regional power, but as a major player in the global strategic landscape. Mastering the means to reach into space and to defend its interests there is a mark of a nation unwilling to be relegated to second-tier status. For its citizens, the ASAT test was a source of pride, a reminder that Indian science, engineering, and determination can overcome even the most daunting of challenges. When the missile rose from its launch pad that day, it carried more than just fuel and metal. It carried the aspirations of 1 billion people, reaching upward beyond the clouds, beyond the sky, into the darkness of space, and proving with a silent, devastating flash of impact that India's power does not end where the atmosphere does. In the quiet vacuum above, where Earth's horizon curves gently below, the message was clear. India has arrived, and its reach is no longer confined to the ground beneath its feet.